19, and we're here at the NEC Birmingham. And wow, we're excited, guys, because we're joined by Alexandra Climent.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks for asking. So welcome to Make Essential.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Epic event, right?
So epic. It's so cool to see like all these makers and people I've heard about on YouTube and Instagram. It's awesome.
Awesome. I'm loving it. Have you met some great people this weekend?
So many great people. It's just so cool to talk to other creative people. Like I'm working alone all the time, so it's like so cool to like be around other woodworkers and stuff.
I love it. So Alex, can you first of all tell us, where did it all begin for you? Okay, were you super young when you got into creating? How old were you? What was the first thing you really made? Do you remember any of that?
Yeah, I mean, it really started with the material. I found myself down in the jungle when I was 19, and I really fell in love with the beauty of exotic wood. I started seeing this stuff when I was down there, and I said to myself, how do I get this back to New York so I can show people? And I also didn't want to cut down any trees, so I needed to figure out a way to do it sustainably. So it just turned into this whole journey of trying to get wood, dig stumps out of the jungle from trees that had fallen or trees that had been cut, that stumps were left there, and replant trees in those stumps' place. So it just turned into this whole journey that started with the material. And once I got the material back to New York, I taught myself how to work with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about a jungle there. Can you tell us a little bit more about this, like a specific jungle? Have you been traveling around the world? Do you know what I mean? Like, what? This is epic.
I mean, I've been around South America a lot. That's where most of the wood that I make my pieces come from. It came from my journeys in South America, Guyana, Suriname, parts of the Amazon. And now I'm mainly working in Panama, so I've kind of like switched into Central America from South America.
Wow.
Yeah.
Epic. So, speaking of the jungle, because I'm all for traveling and stuff, did you enjoy that? Did you come across some crazy animals and stuff whilst obviously getting your wood?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a little bit scary, but you see so many things, so much life is in the jungle. I mean that's something that I talk about a lot, is just like the life of the jungle, the noises, the things that live there, millions and millions of species of animals. So I've gotten to see some really cool like snakes. Last time we actually saw a puma.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was really, really intense. And just bugs everywhere.
I can imagine. Did you
monkeys.
get bitten quite a lot?
It's so weird. It really depends on the time of year. But like sometimes you get, I try to cover myself from head to toe, even though it's so hot. It's just worth covering yourself.
Wow.
But I had some weird bug bites on this last trip to Darien that kind of looked like something was like burrowing in there. But lots of funky stuff in the jungle.
Woo, I can imagine. So while you were kind of searching for your wood and stuff, did you like camp out there? How long did it take for you to collect what you wanted for them to make?
Years. I mean, it took a long time in the beginning. I mean, even now when I work in Panama, I don't bring the wood back each time. What I do is I'll put it, in this case, on my friend's farm down in Panama, and when I have enough to ship it in a container, I'll send it to New York. So in the beginning, there was more of a rush because I wanted to get it to New York to work with, but now I have a good amount of inventory. So the wood from Panama, that will take like several years until I have enough wood to bring back to the States.
Gosh,
so it's a big process.
It's so inspiring. You must have a lot of patience.
Yeah, I think so. But I'm also, anxious sometimes too, but it just comes with it.
Yeah, of course. So tell us a bit more about like your work. Like what kind of things do you make with this amazing wood?
I mean, I would say most of my pieces are like functional art and design pieces. Like the guitar stand that I made, it's something that like aesthetically just shows off the beauty of the wood. That's kind of like what I like to focus on in most of my work, is just like really bringing out that beauty. Because when you pass this wood in the jungle, you really don't know what's underneath. These colors that occur, the blues, the purples, the pinks, the oranges, like it's like my job to bring that out, I feel. So everything I design is with that in mind, is just kind of like showcasing that wood and complementing it with like simple materials like brass, resin, or plastic. Yeah.
That's absolutely phenomenal. What would you say is the best thing that you've made so far, like a finished project that you've been really proud of?
I would say the new piece that I just did, the music sheet stand.
Okay.
I'm really proud of that just because it was so difficult to put together. I had asked a lot of people once it was all coming together, woodworkers that were in my shop, and I knocked on other people's doors like asking for advice, and nobody could figure out some of the problems that I had. So being able to figure all that out and make this piece work functionally and like aesthetically was like really, really important.
So I like a bit of music. I'm like a bit of a singer and stuff myself. This this music sheet stand, okay, is this kind of for like pianists and stuff, or is it kind of a tall one for people who sing on their own solo?
This one is a custom, they're all custom sizes, but this is for someone who plays guitar specifically.
Okay,
so,
awesome.
But yeah, they can be made for someone who plays piano, or, well, I imagine you have that in front, I don't know. But yeah, it can be made at any size.
She was getting another idea then, even on camera. She was like, I'm going to do this next. Oh wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you got a favourite tool that you like to work with whilst creating your stuff?
I would say I really like using the router just because it the blade can really get through that first layer of wood, and you start to see the colors and things like that. But yeah, a lot of the work that I do is just with my hands and sanding, so that takes a long time. So I can't say I love sanding, but like just bringing out that final finish on these pieces and like bringing out that color, I would say the router really is like unsheets that first look, and even running things through the planer, like I love that. So it's like you see it like come to life as it goes to the other side.
That's lush.
Yeah.
You seem so passionate about this wood and this creating it. It's just amazing to see. So tell us about New York then. That's obviously where you're from, right?
Yes.
Do you kind of do all your work at home? Do you have like a workshop? Where do you do your pieces?
My workshop now is in Queens.
Okay.
So it's about 30 minutes from my house. I take my Vespa over there every day. And yeah, most of my time is spent in the shop for sure. It's a shared shop, so it's like really loud, really noisy. Sometimes it's hard to feel creative there, but I just kind of put my headphones on and like dig right into it. But I never stop working. Like, on the plane ride here, I was, in my head thinking like, oh my God, what am I going to make? Like, what am I going to do when I get home? How am I going to fix this piece and make this work? And so I'm always working, always.
Wow. Have you got quite a few unfinished projects? Have you got quite a few on the go that you've not quite finished yet, or do you kind of like to get them all done?
I have a few in the works right now that I'm finishing up for clients, but there's definitely some projects that like I've started that I haven't had time to finish because client work will get in the way. So yeah, there's that. And also just like it gets very tiring since I'm doing it all myself. I have like a limit on how much my hands will work until they just kind of like go numb.
Gosh,
so
that's crazy. Like numb hand. I can't even imagine. I think I'd be exhausted.
Sometimes I go to a boxing class after the shop, and my fingers will like go numb. So like when I punch, I can feel.
She's like, I can't take it anymore. This is crazy. So have you got a little bit of work in your hand there that you want to show us? And tell us about that.
So this is my worry egg, I call it. This is something that I created a prototype for somebody, and I always carried around a piece of my wood. It wasn't shaped like this. It was more like a round piece. And I was like, people were asking me, like, why don't you sell like something that like is small? Because I really want to buy a piece of yours, but I can't afford like a larger commission. So I realized that I carry my wood around because I'm always like using it as like for like if I have anxiety or just like fidget with, or so I was like, oh, that would be so cool if I could start making these little worry eggs, and people can hold them in their hand, and they can have a piece of the jungle and a piece of that really rare, cool wood that they could just carry with them. So
I feel like you could maybe use it for things as well, like like a dry, like you could get creative with that, and maybe have it anywhere in the house. Yeah,
actually, the guys at my shop who at first they like didn't understand what it was for, and now they all just like pick it up, and you see them like rolling it around, and they actually been like using it like after they're working to like massage their hands from just being tired and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome, because it's so smooth, isn't it?
It's like relaxing.
I know you guys can't feel it, but you can see it at least. But that's amazing. Yeah, the camera will definitely pick that up. So, Alexandra, have you got kind of an aim, like a goal, something that you're like, you know what, eventually I'm going to make this, for example, something massive? Have you got any, future crazy ideas?
I have a lot of crazy ideas that I haven't figured out if they'll work yet. But eventually I want to get enough time to make a bunch of prototypes of pieces that I have sold and just have a show and have a gallery opening, basically.
Amazing.
So that because people are always asking to see my work, but most of the work I make I sell.
Yes.
So it's hard to keep anything around. So I think I really want to take some time and make some pieces that I can show people, bigger pieces. But yeah, I don't know. I have so many ideas for weird dressers and more stuff for the furniture line, and more functional art, more in the music world. So we'll see where it goes.
Wow, exciting times.
Yeah.
Well, Alexandra, thank you so much for
Thanks for having me.
You're more than welcome. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
Absolutely, and we'll see you soon, guys.
Bye.